Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Been a couple weeks since we've done anything in the shop. Had a couple weeks ago, that week was real crazy trying to get ready to go on a vacation, which we did last week. Some very needed R&R. Spent a little time at the South Carolina and North Carolina coast and just kind of messed around, took it easy. So we're back in the shop. We've got a plan of attack now. We're getting to the point where a lot of stuff's coming into the shop, a lot of stuff's being moved, and it's really coming together quite nicely, to be honest with you. But working on a couple different things. I'm on the welding table here today, and the welding table itself will be a subject of a video coming up, because I'm going to do a modification to it to make it a little bit more user-friendly here in the shop, because it's over the years has been set up and jigged out to do all kind of different things. But the two things that I want to show you today basically have to do with getting nuts and bolts that are in hard to get places when you can't necessarily use a regular ratchet. You don't have enough height, you don't have enough room to get a socket and a ratchet in there, or you may not be able to get a pull handle. You certainly, obviously, if you can't get the ratchet in there, I doubt you're going to be able to get any kind of a cordless drill or a cordless impact or anything like that. So using basic box wrenches, I want to show you a couple things real quick, and then after that, we're going to build a tool. I had one and it's moving around. I don't know exactly what happened, but several things. Once I get this done, I'll find it. That's the way it always works. But several things that I've been looking for I can't find. I've stuck them somewhere, or they've gotten pushed aside up in the old shop. But we're going to build a tool that if you have a welder and you have a acetylene torch in your shop, you have to know about this little tool. I've made several of them for folks over the years. Like I said, I've had two of them. Both mine apparently have gotten gone. Not with the welder like they ought to be. But we're going to build something. Again, if you're around the shop, if you're a pipeline welder, if you're a structural fabricator, you've seen these things for years, I would assume. I'm not going to show you anything you hadn't seen anyway. But no, if you're messing around the shop, this little dude right here, something you got to have. But in the meantime, let me show you what I'm talking about. We're going to take 2 wrenches. In this case, I have a 5/8 and 11/16. Let me get you around over here so you can see a little bit more of what I'm doing. Hold on. All right, that'll work a little bit better. As you can tell here, this is just a standard 8-grade bolt. I've got it chucked up in the vise, but assuming this thing is ran down into something, whether it be a car or whatever, and it's stuck, you can't get it out, okay? You don't have enough room up here to come straight down on top of it to grab it with a ratchet and do anything with it. So what do? You can get a wrench in there, okay? You can get the boxed in on it and slide it out. But again, this is not nearly enough leverage to make this thing work. What do? You move the camera around here just a little bit. Let's get out here on the end of this wrench. Take the boxed end of another wrench. Again, this is 11/16. Slide in just like this right here, okay? And you have over doubled what you're able to do with the initial wrench. In other words, you're using leverage here, folks. Real quick, real easy. And all you do is just pull it across. And it, in turn, will rotate the nut in whichever direction you want it to go, okay? Not hard at all. Again, this is a real simple little tool, little hack, I guess you could call it. But again, all you're doing is you have the wrench here, and you come in this way, you lock it in, and you can pull, all right? If you need to go the other way, just simply flip the wrench over, grab it here, and you can pull. Real simple thing to do, not hard at all. Now, using these same 2 wrenches, we're going to go around to the other side of the welding table and look at, let's say you've got a piece of pipe. You don't have a pipe wrench. You don't have a monkey wrench, as some people call them. How would you go about trying to turn a piece of pipe using these same 2 wrenches? Come on over. Let's go to the other side and take a look. All right, what I put here in the pipe vise is a piece of 1 1/4 black pipe. As you can tell, this wrench in no way, shape, or form is going to fit around this thing. So let's say you've got to turn something like this, and you have to, you just don't have the tools to work with. All you've got is these 2 wrenches. It's real simple. Go into the end, just like this, okay? Take the other wrench and go in perpendicular to that, and use the back of it to lock it in place, okay? And the more strength, or the more pressure you put on it, the tighter it gets. It's the same way going back in the other direction. Again, stick the wrench in there, bind it up, and you can sit there and rotate that pipe right around. Again, this is not foolproof. It may not work every time. You got to understand that you're pulling on one side of the pipe with this as you're rotating around, so the geometry is kind of working against you. But you can take your time. If this is the only way you've got to get to it, or the only thing you've got to work with, it's got to be worth a try. After all, if you got to do it and you can't with what the tools you got to think outside the box, guys. So now at this point, we're going to get over here and we're going to work on making us a tool that you will need if you've got a welding shop, if you do welding around your place, whatever the case may be. You got to know about this little thing. So let's get over here to Vice and let me explain what we got to do. If you weld on anything, whether it be with a stick, MIG, TIG, let's not say TIG, or MIG, inevitably you're going to have a side grinder, okay? These things make any welder look good, okay? Just keep that in mind. But I've got 3 different manufacturers represented in my shop. This one here is steel. I have 2 of those. I have a couple 3 DeWalt's. And I also have a couple, I've got 2 Evolutions, okay? Just what I've acquired over the years. This right here is a carbide disc used for grinding rubber, conveyor belts. Those of you who know me, in a former life, I did a lot in conveyor belting. And this is just one of those grinders that we used back in the day. What I'm going to do is we're going to build a tool to help take these nuts off these grinders, okay? The reason I mention I have 3 different manufacturers, all 3 of their bolt patterns are different. Some of them, this one in this case has 4 holes. The DeWalt's have 2. The Evolutions, one has 2, one has 3. One's an older unit, so I'm sure there was a design change. Each one of these would require to keep up with a spanner wrench to take that nut off. I'm not real good at keeping up with those things. Tools I use every day, I can keep up with, but something like that, I'm grabbing a grinder and I'm not thinking about what it is, so I'm not probably grabbing the same grinder every time. In this case, this one's set up to grind conveyor belt. My other ones are set up with various grit, depending on what I'm grinding. Again, you need a tool that you can keep handy, all right, and a tool that you can keep up with. So that's what we're going to make right here, okay? How are we going to do that? We're going to use, this is just a standard off-the-shelf channel lock brand crescent wrench. All right, let's look at this thing right quick. So what we're going to do is take these little nuts and bolts, and I'm basically going to drill a hole and run this bolt through each side of the jaw of this crescent wrench, okay? let's get the nuts tightened up. Actually, me being right-handed, let's do this from the other side. All right. When you have hands that work right, it makes it real easy, but considering some of the surgeries I've had and things that have happened, they just don't seem to work right. All right. Alrighty, so that's what we've done. We've made us an adjustable spanner wrench. All right, I'll probably wind up cutting these off just a little bit, but as you can tell, works just fine. Okay, works just fine. In fact, I know it will because they're going to be too long anyway. Alrighty, now I'll step over to the grinder, get these things cut off. We're going to take this thing and go one step further with it. Alrighty, so just stand by. Let me get these things cut. I'll bring you guys back around. We're going to do a little bit of welding. Alrighty, we're going to take our adjustable spanner wrench one step further. Many times you go into a shop atmosphere, and what you'll find is the handles on a lot of the acetylene, oxygen, argon, those bottles have been taken off. Okay. For various reasons. I've worked at job sites most of my life in the field and whatnot, and you'll just find that on guys' trucks. People like to mess with folks. They like to take things loose. A lot of different reasons for that. So how do you get away from that? How do you keep that from happening? You just take the handle off. Most people don't carry around the tools that they need to turn the gas on. An old trick that I saw many years ago, an old welder showed me. There's a square head underneath the nut there where the handle goes on. What you can use is a 3/8 drive socket. In this case, it's just a 3/8 drive. I don't even know what the size is, but as you can tell, it's tapered to go down into this hole. So what we're going to do is weld this in where the hole's at, okay? And what that will do is give us a wrench that'll fit on that gas bottle back there and turn it on and turn it off, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and weld this up. See how she turns out. Alrighty, so we got it welded up. We'll just take a wire brush, clean it up a little bit, knock the residue off of it, and I'll bring it around there so you guys can see exactly what we did. Alrighty, that's all we did. Socket's on the other side, and it's still hot. Didn't take long to look at that, did it? But there you go. You got your wrench for your acetylene and oxygen, your gas bottles, and then the other end, adjustable expander wrench. I hope these few little items that I've shown you today in this little short video helps you around your shop and projects that you're working on. Again, we're working on the lift. Pretty much got it anchored down. We got to go through and obviously give it a paint job. I'm working on truing it up. I'm not sure how much of that's actually going to make a video because it's kind of boring going back and forth, but it's got to be right in order to work. So don't know. We'll get into that, but we've got a lot of things in the shop that we're working on, and the videos are going to start coming. I'm getting ready to solicit some help with some of the production side. Again, you guys just do not understand what all is involved in the editing, and those folks that do it weekly and stay after it. I tell you what, I've got the utmost respect for them because there's a lot more work goes on behind the scenes than you'll ever see on the video. But again, thanks for stopping by the channel. I appreciate so much the time you spend with me, and as always, God bless.